On October 31st, here at the Notre-Dame Basilica in Geneva, people prayed in communion with the Pope for peace in the Middle East and especially for Syria. This event coincided with the Pope's participation in the ecumenical commemoration held that same day in Sweden. The prayer mass in Geneva was led by the Apostolic Nuncio to the UN Geneva, who admonished in his homily that violence only generates violence.
La violence génère la violence.
Nous représentons 30 ONG d'inspiration catholique qui s'engagent.
We represent 30 Catholic-inspired NGOs involved on the diplomatic level at the UN Geneva. Our members honored tonight the population of martyrs and prayed to the Eternal for an end to this barbary.
Cette barbarie de la guerre s'arrête.
Donc nous devons établir la communion.
We need communion between Christians from here and Middle Eastern Christians who are suffering. We all belong to the same Christ, but also communion with all humans who are suffering regardless of their religious beliefs. The devastating civil war, especially in Aleppo, shows no sign of ending. So far it claimed the lives of nearly 500,000 innocent men, women and children, and any rules of warfare seem to be absent.
Strikes against hospitals, schools, marketplaces, water facilities and bakeries are now commonplace and, if proven to be intentional, may amount to war crimes.
Pope Francis had complained that often the same nations pledging support for peace are the ones supplying weapons for the conflict, and the United Nations condemned all parties for their refusal to protect innocent lives.
And they refuse to take responsibility for their actions, a responsibility that belongs not only to the warring parties on the ground, but also to those external actors who support them.
Adding to its distress in late October until early this month, Syria was also one of the states that were examined by the United Nations Human Rights Council's Universal Periodic Review, UPR, a unique process which involves an annual review of the human rights record of all 193 UN member states. In this exclusive EWTN interview, the Syrian ambassador explained why the UN review report contains over 200 recommendations.
And unfortunately, some of these or many of these repeated recommendations were in fact politicized recommendations, were in fact accusations rather than constructive recommendations. So we are open to look into all the recommendations which were made in a manner that respects the spirit of this review.
Regarding the current crisis in his country, the ambassador confirmed that his government is committed to reach a political solution.
The government is committed to reaching a political resolution of the crisis in Syria based on Syrian dialogue that can ensure a national consensus on drawing the future of Syria amongst Syrians without any external interference.
Suivant les paroles de Jésus, bienheureux les artisans de paix.
Blessed are the peacemakers, words from Jesus that the Archbishop recalled during the prayer mass for peace in Syria.
We need to go beyond human means. We need to go to the peace of Christ. And this we can achieve only through prayer at Mass. And that's why I think this Mass was absolutely necessary, should be repeated.
Peace always remains a duty for the Church. No? It is, we believe that we will live with peace, but we are disappointed so often. No? Peace is an enormous challenge, and I think we have a papacy that is so aware of this. And this, as a representative of the Holy See, it's nice to be supported in this idea. And as you know, all of you, in Geneva, we all need to be confirmed in our conviction that peace is needed and this only solution. No? Only peace has a future, anything else has no future.